Fear stops us from achieving our true greatness. Are you a professional woman who is feeling stuck, unmotivated, or burned out? Are you worried about your wellness? Are you letting fear stop you from crushing your goals? If you answered yes to any or all of these, then this is the podcast for you. Dr. Charmaine Gregory, night shift emergency physician, burnout thriver, and wellness champion, along with everyday heroes just like you, will explore how to face fear in our lives and emerge victoriously.
Hey, thanks for checking out this episode. Be sure to click the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you get notified when the next video comes out. It only takes 2 seconds to make 2 clicks. So let's do it. Let's get back to the video. Hello, Fearless Freedom fam. This is Dr. G, and we are here for another amazing episode of the Fearless Freedom with Dr. G podcast. And today we have Melanie Sobocinski here, and she's going to tell you all about herself and all of the cool things that she's up to, because she's up to quite a bit. So take it away, Melanie.
Okay, well, my name is Melanie Sobocinski. I am a certified integrative nutrition health coach and life coach. I'm also a personal trainer at a gym. So basically, I've been in the industry for quite a while, but within the last 4 years or so, I have really narrowed down to working with women in their 40s. I kind of help them feel comfortable and confident in their bodies, because after so many years of promoting things that I now don't quite agree with, we realize that yo-yo dieting has done some things to our metabolism and our hormones and the way we feel about our bodies and how we see food. So I help women overcome that. I help them break down those walls. And I'm kind of out to disrupt the diet industry for a multitude of reasons.
Oh, good for you. I love it.
Yeah.
I love when I love when we take stands and we basically disrupt things. So that's fantastic.
Yes.
Okay. So how did you get into this? Like, how did you get there? Because I mean, you mentioned kind of a little bit about that. Like you said, I was doing one thing and I have now like shifted gears. So what happened? I want to hear the story behind that.
Oh, well, I mean, how much time do we have? So, for me, I started working out to help with, I was a young mom. I had 3 kids. I was kind of in this like depressive state of where you can't quite find yourself. So to me, that was where I found myself. I went and joined a gym. And then I thought, oh my gosh, I could totally do this. I could help other people, right? Feel good about themselves and work out. And became a certified personal trainer, worked in a gym and for a company that promoted weight loss and exercises. And somewhere along that way, the depression came back because I felt like I didn't measure up to the standards. I wasn't seeing the results I thought I should see after a certain amount of time. And it just became a struggle. I started to not like what I saw in the mirror. Just something switched, just because I don't know if it was because of a lot of the language they use in the gym or in these programs. And I noticed the same thing with a lot of my clients. They just weren't feeling it, right? I mean, exercise was no longer fun for me. And I thought something has to change. Like what? I just kept knocking my head. Like, what is it? What is it? And after years of struggling myself with weight loss issues and body image issues and the way I felt about food, I realized this was no way to live, right? So somewhere I woke up and was like, this is like, my thoughts went totally against what you see out there. I mean, I was promoting that. And I realized it's not working for everybody. It's actually harming people. When we get to a certain age, these things that we did in the past don't work anymore. They just don't. When you hit a certain age, your metabolism has gone through some things. So for me, it was like, I need to take a stand. I need to get my message out there. And I was scared. I was scared to go against popular opinion. I was worried about what people would think.
Oh, that sounds like fear, man. Look at
yes,
that.
Yes. But after a while, I've got this great business coach. You may know him. After a while, it was like, I have to take a stand, because if I don't, and I get chills thinking about this will continue not only with women my age, but for generations. Because if we look back to it, majority of my clients, they remember their moms or their aunts or everybody worried about the size of their body. And that's not the most amazing thing our bodies can do, is lose weight.
Nope.
So I was like, this is it. I'm speaking my truth. I'm getting it out there. And I've gotten to the point where I said, I'm no longer telling people what they think they need to hear when it comes to weight loss and all the things we've been told. I'm telling them what they need to hear. Because it's such a vicious cycle that we always continue to go back to what broke us or got us stuck or whatever. And then each time we just feel like, there's so many rules and restrictions that come with dieting. And what if there weren't any? We don't know how to trust ourselves. And I want people to stand in their power and realize that they don't need a diet from now until forever. They deserve to enjoy life.
No, that's great. That is amazing. And, so you mentioned a couple of things that I think are interesting and applicable actually to not just, what you do, or even what I do. And you mentioned that you had a coach. Now I know that like you are a coach and yet you have a coach. Right, and this is something that like I find very fascinating because it's something that echoes, no matter who I talk to, they all say the same thing. People who are successful have coaches, right? Absolutely. And so, this is something that I think is not like a common stand, I guess, or opinion. Most people don't realize that when you have success, the way that you have even more success is if you have someone to get you to where you need to go faster, and that is a coach. So I just wanted to point that out because you mentioned that your particular coach, who I happen to know is pretty awesome, like you said. He told you, look, step into your truth. Like really, if you believe that and you think it's going to make a difference, there are people who are willing and able, ready to hear what you have to say. And so it sounds like you did just that, and you found your niche, which is fantastic. Because this is a niche that's always going to be growing, right? Because it's going to be women turning 40 all the time.
Absolutely.
And 50, because that's gonna be me soon. But it's like we call that, there's a phenomenon with the 40s that I don't know if you're totally familiar with, but like this is something that we see like in medicine, and it's the forgotten age. So when you get done with your training and you get started, you're like the young attending, right? You're the new young attending, and everybody's, it's all great. You feel welcome. You're doing all these things, and you're trying to like, blaze your path in your career. And then you get to 40, and it's like nobody recognizes you. Nobody knows you're there anymore. Like it's not that you want acknowledgement, but it's like you do become invisible at right over 40. And so this is a phenomenon that we notice, and so, the invisibility is compounded by the fact that your body is changing. The things that you need, the hormonal responses, they're all changing. And at that same moment, you are coming into your own skin, right? Like you are, because in your 20s, it's kind of like, you're trying to find yourself, not really sure what you're doing. You're like trying all these things, kind of like an extended teenage years, but only like more, I guess I'm more mature, like an adulting type of teenage experimentation. Right. And then you get to your 30s and you're like, all right, you start to settle into things, right? So now you maybe you have a family, maybe you have a career, whatever it is that you're doing, but you're doing something. And then you finally you finally stop caring a lot about what people say when you get to the 40s, right? Now you're like, I know who I am, and I don't need validation from you. Like, this is what, happens. But at the same time that you are coming into your own and you are like, you're finding your voice, which it sounds like you also did, right? You are also being forgotten by society because you're not, I mean, you can still be bearing children, but most people aren't bearing children anymore. So that's the thing that makes you quote unquote like highlighted, right? And then, or you're like, blazing through your career. So that's making you highlighted. You get to 40, you're not bearing children anymore, or maybe you're not like advancing as quickly in your career anymore. And it's like, wow, forgotten, invisible. And then you compound it with hormonal changes. And you're like, coming into yourself and you're knowing yourself and you're feeling empowered, but at the same time, you're feeling like the power that you just gained has been stripped. It's wild. It is a wild, wild ride. So yeah, no, absolutely. So tell me a little bit more about how my daughter just came and stood next to me and gave me an applause for that little speech. You gotta love it.
Oh yeah.
I looked over and I'm like, what's going on? Oh, it's the little one. The little one standing there like
cute.
Oh my gosh, too funny. So, so you mentioned that you had the epiphany, you got some pretty poignant direction from your coach, and then that allowed you to step into your niche. Now, you probably should tell us a little bit more about the feelings that you had when you made that decision, right? Because you made the decision and you went for it, but what went through your mind when you were making that change?
Ooh, well, there was a lot
against the grain.
Yeah, there was a lot of fear because, it goes against popular opinion. It goes against what quote unquote works, right? But a lot of it came, and the way that I work with my clients and created my program all came on the foundations of what I did to help myself. And knowing that I was not the only one, I was like, I know there's more me's out there. So yes, of course there was fear. You get the sweaty armpits before you go and talk live about it. And then you just say, I don't care. Because then when you're speaking it and you're saying it and the passion is coming out and sometimes the tears and the ugly crying and not such nice G-rated words come out, it's like, this is why I feel this way. Because if I kept going in this direction, my life would have been terrible. And so I wouldn't have been able to enjoy it. But now here I'm over here and I'm realizing what it did for me. And I'm seeing what it does for a lot of my clients. But, and I tell them, I'm like, this is like no other program you've ever done. Like you are not going to find, and I always say, sustainable weight loss, sustainable, sane weight loss, right? In a 30, 60, 90-day program that's going to tell you what to do. You're not getting the transformation. You're not being taught the skills or the habits that you need to have. They're small. They're as easy as brushing your teeth. Like it shouldn't disrupt your whole life for you to, be able to enjoy your food, for you to be able to feel good about what you see in the mirror. And you shouldn't have to go through drastic weight loss to like who you are. And for me, that took a lot because I kept saying, it's not about a look, it's about a feel. Because it didn't matter when I was in those challenges and those start point to finish point, and I was maybe getting the results. I didn't think I was. I saw the pictures. I'm like, I'm not getting the results. But even when I looked the part of whatever a personal trainer is supposed to look and all these things, I was dying inside emotionally. So I was like, it doesn't matter what we look like on the outside, because we could be dying on the inside, just physically, mentally, emotionally. And then on top of it, a lot of these diets are dangerous, but we do it for the number on the scale. And I promoted that. I did that. And I realized this is not working. So when I started to put it out there, I was like, oh, what are people going to think? And then after I started to put it out there and people were responding like, you just spoke to me. Like, this is exactly where I'm at in life. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I need to get it out there more. Like I need to go bigger, wider, take it out there. And there are still times where I'm like, oh, I get a little scared. I get a little worried about like, if somebody says something and I'm like, you know what? It's my story. Like you can't fact check my story and say, but this is how they say to lose fat and this is how they say to lose that. And it's like, it's not a one size fits all. So my program is not a one size fits all in the fact that you work it into your life. You're given these steps, these pillars, and how to work it into your life. Because if we're getting to the point where our habits have to change so much, and then what happens when people come to me, they're like, well, I did, A, B, and C diet, and life happened. It got busy, stressful, so I stopped. Well, if what you're doing now cannot sustain or handle life, it's not going to work. And if we're looking at health as the long-term goal, these yo-yo diets are not offering health. So it goes on so many different pillars of just the weight loss. It's like the emotional, is there healing? We've done so much to our innards. Is there some healing that needs to go on? There's mindset, all these things. Yes, we talk about nutrition because I think we've been misled as to what nutrition really is, because it's all restriction with diets. And I always say, like, I'm going to teach you the things that are missing from these diets, the things that you've never been taught, because the key ingredient is what's missing. And this is why you're not seeing the results.
No, that's great. That is awesome. Awesome. Hey, it's Dr. G, and I just wanted to take a quick moment to thank you for listening to this episode. I'm so honored to have you here with me. Did you know that I can help you to get your own podcast started? With my podcasting launch course for professionals, I walk you through everything you need to know about starting a podcast. I'm with you every step of the way, from sign up to launching your show, with 5 episodes ready to go. There's a done for you version that's also available if you would just rather just do recordings and leave the behind the scenes work up to us, then that one is definitely for you. But either way, we've got your back here at Fearless Freedom with Dr. G. Oh, if you already have a show and you need production services, we have monthly plans available for you. So check out the links in the episode show notes for more information. Let's get back to the show. And so now, how and where, so you mentioned lives. Okay, so is that typically where people can find out more about what you're doing? Did they go somewhere to watch a live, or do you have another source?
They can go everywhere.
I love it. That's like,
right?
Yeah,
I'm trying to get it out on all levels. So you can, like if you go to my website, so we're going to shorten my last name. So it's MelanieSobo.com. I shortened the last name, so it's clearly easy. Nobody has to worry about how to spell it. I'm pretty sure on YouTube, it's Melanie Sobocinski, Sobocinski. I'm on Facebook. I have a private group for women called Healthy Living. If people, want to join that, that's where I do more of the intimate lives, where I know I can just ugly cry and that's okay. Because those people know me a little better. When I have like a rant that goes against popular opinion, where I'm like, it's got to get out there, I'm just right there on my Facebook page. So
gotcha.
That is, I'm pretty much, you can Google me and find me.
Fantastic. Yeah, no, that's great. And then, so how does your program work? Do you have like one-on-one coaching, or is it like a group situation? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, good question, because I have both. What I like to do is I have a group program. It is a 12-week program, and it goes over those 5 pillars. That goes together, and then from that point, I will offer one-on-one coaching. If there's something that goes deeper, as far as like, I'm certified as a life coach, something that I feel that goes deeper than just what they can get out of the program, I will offer the one-on-one coaching, because I feel like then we can take a deeper dive, because some people need that little bit of extra. Some people like the group setting. They love that support. They love where they can chat, and other people are a little bit intimidated by it. But if it's, if you're looking for the pillars in that order, then yes, the group coaching is where you want to be, to where the one-on-one gets very, very individualized type of thing.
Awesome. And they can reach you through your website to get into these. Okay. Mm-hmm. Fabulous. Yes. Fabulous. Awesome. And so, okay, here's a fear that I think that we should talk about, that I think that most people don't talk about. And have you at any point, as this is all developing, developed a fear of success?
I mean, who doesn't have fear of success? I find a lot of my clients have fear of success in weight loss, but yes, like, oh my gosh, like, like in my mind, I want to get out there. I want to get in schools and talk to young girls. Like I said, I want this to stop this generation. It's up to us as mothers, as parents, we're responsible. They deserve better. So I want to get it out there. And part of me is like, yes, yes. And then I'm like, oh, what's going to happen when I am this big? Like, what will I do? Who will take care of me? How will I take care of all my clients? It's great to have a coach to help you get through those fears and to help you, like, here's how we can put it together and here's what will work best. And as always, I say this to my clients, because this is based on my program. I'm like, it's not a start finish or a pass fail. You can always go back to that drawing board, and the end goal is always the same.
Right.
But sometimes you can change the direction of that sale a little bit, but always know what it is that you want. And for me, it's like, I want to, what the diet industry is like a $70 billion, 72.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's
crazy.
Ridiculous. So
It
I want to disrupt that and make that way lower, because there's a lot of coaches out there that do a lot of the same stuff that I do, that are out to disrupt it and out to teach people what their bodies need on an individual level. And yeah, there's always that fear of like, oh my gosh, what if what I'm doing isn't going to work? Well, it's not going to work for everybody. Same thing. And I'll come straight out. Like, I'll tell you when someone says, I want you to tell me what to do, what to eat, when to eat, how to eat it. I'm like, well, I can't.
It's not for you.
Right. That's not what I do. So yeah, it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea. So there's that fear of like, oh, if someone's like, well, this doesn't work. And I'm like, well, how's everything else been working?
Right.
So there are fears. I try not to let them hold me back.
Good.
Because I feel like there's so much that I need to get out there. And like I said, when I do have those fears, I've got that person and people in my life, the business mastermind people and group coaching, that they support and help me, and they know what my vision is. So it's like, they're not going to let me stop, because they know, just like you said, there's people out there that are ready and willing, and sometimes they don't really realize they need it.
Absolutely. No, that's fantastic. I'm glad, because that's something that I just started thinking about, because I think that, a lot of times when we have that fear of success, we tend to not push it, like not try to 10x our business or not try to scale up or whatever it is, And so, but we don't always realize that's what it is. So once we realize it, we're like, oh, wait, I'm afraid to succeed. This is going to be successful, and I'm afraid of that.
Yeah.
It seems odd, because, you think that you'd be afraid of failure and not success, but there tends to be a little bit of twist there. Wow. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Awesome.
Definitely.
This has been such a good conversation.
Yeah.
Are you ready for the fill in the blanks?
I am. I actually took notes.
Took notes? Okay, that's cool. All right, that's awesome. Yeah. So the first one is, if I am fearless, I will.
That if I'm fearless, I will stand in my truth and not be afraid to disrupt the diet industry.
Love it. The next one is, to me, fearless freedom means.
Well, they all could be the same. Fearless freedom means to me, I get a little, just never giving up on yourself, never being afraid to be successful, because it's there and it's for the taking, and I'm taking it.
That's right. Make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then last but not least, my battle cry is.
Yeah. So this one, I was like, I'm just going to go with it. My battle cry, and I say this all the time, is I'm dropping truth bombs and F bombs. I just love it. I got to get the truth out there. And if it comes out in a sarcastic swearing thing, that's just kind of how I go with it.
Hey, you know what? You say that, and that's your battle cry. People will, your people will be coming to you. You know what I mean? Like, they'll be like, oh my God. Yeah. She's speaking to me. No, that's fantastic. And then just let everybody know one more time where they can find you on social.
Okay. So on social, if they want to go to my website, it's www.melaniesobo.com. And then on Facebook, I'm under my full last name of Sobocinski, Melanie Sobocinski.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing your expertise with the Fearless Freedom Tribe today, Melanie. We appreciate you, and we hope that you continue to disrupt.
Thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
Thank you for joining me on this episode of Fearless Freedom with Dr. G. Again, I'm Dr. G. And if you like this episode, be sure to subscribe so that you can get notified of when the next episode is going to be. And also, I'll catch you next time. Have a great one. Be strong, be brave, and unleash your greatness.